Hello, everyone. Welcome again to another edition of Find Ways to Win. I am your host, FitzgeraldStephens. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Definitely thank you for the new subscribers, continued subscribers, the feedback that you guys give. Man, it is so refreshing. We feel like you're connecting with your audience and your audience is back connecting with you. We just love it and we appreciate you guys. Definitely, still keep in tune to that. I welcome any ideas that you guys may want me to talk about a subject matter that's kind of important to you. You can shoot me an email at findwaystowin gmail.com. My email description is my email is located inside my feed descriptions. And so I like to talk to you first and see a couple of points, and that's how the message to the youth got produced. Because I had a young subscriber who actually gave me some feedback on that, and she wanted, and then I promised her I would make it, and that's how that video came by listening to my subscribers. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for hitting that like button, for hitting that share button, for watching this a couple of times. We gotta make a little adjustment right here. Watching this a couple of times and keep staying in what you're doing, keep staying on post, and we appreciate it. Sorry about that, guys. Sometimes you think you got this stuff straight, and then you look at it when you get your camera on, and you don't. Want to talk to you guys about an extraordinary extraordinary vital subject. Often one that gets overlooked because it's natural breathing air. So you really don't think about it. The title of this stream is called the spiritual controls the natural. The spiritual controls the natural. I want you to know that nothing happens in the natural realm without it first taking place in the spirit realm. Nothing happens in the natural realm without it first taking place in the spirit realm. Now, for those of us who have a faith, believe in the Most High, or and believe that there is something or someone out there that's the creator that puts all this stuff together. We don't subscribe to the evolutionary theory. We don't subscribe to the Big Bang theory. Lisa said I should say me, that as if you can bring or order out of chaos through some explosion, and you have the everything put together right, everything put in. It just goes against common sense and goes against logic. It is a totally unprovable statement. People may say, "Well, Fitzgerald, you can't prove that. You can't prove that necessarily. Creation. Yeah, okay. Well, let's call it a draw. But I'd rather stack my belief up against yours any day of the week. And so what? So what we want to think about. What do we talk about? What do we mean by the spirit realm, the unseen realm, the creative realm? In the spirit realm, things exist like faith, prayer, fasting, meditation, belief, will, reflection. All these things you cannot necessarily see, but you know beyond a shadow of doubt, they have created everything that is. Everything that you've ever achieved, everything that you've ever hoped to gain, or you have brought forth to produce, you first had to see it in the spirit. You first had to see it over in the spirit, using your imagination, your mind, and your faith and your belief, and then you go out and set the works of your hands to do something, bring it back. It comes from the heart. It comes from the spirit first. What do you think plans are? What do you think? What do you think when you're doing self talking to yourself and you're speaking affirmation? Or what do you what do you where do you think that's coming from? How's that able to create? You have to see it. The Bible says, without a vision, the people perish. Without a vision, where's the vision? In the natural, the spirit realm. It's first in the spiritual realm, and then it becomes in the natural realm when it's actually formed, when it's actually shaped. So we have to work more so on our spirit, and that's more so necessarily our body. The body exists to house the spirit. You know, without the spirit of a man in the body, you know, they're putting you in the ground. You're dead. You don't have nothing. It's the spirit that gives life to the body. It's the spirit that gives life to creativity, to thoughts, to energy. Now, how many times have we been around people we heard these sayings? Well, that person just had a good spirit about them, or it was just something about them that was off, or was something about this situation that just didn't feel right. Feel right? Or something off? What are you saying? You're talking about spiritual terms. You're talking about the spiritual realm. You may not know how to describe it in a way that another man or woman is, but nevertheless, that's exactly what you're talking about. The Most High God, it says, no, He is a spirit. He is a spirit. It doesn't necessarily say that He has a physical body and everything, but it says that He is a spirit. I believe just as everything that you see on earth, I believe there's a spiritual component to that. I believe there are spiritual trees and seeds and buildings and beings that just like you see in the natural. And I believe that the spirit realm is not really is not it operates in a way that it produces breakthrough or slowdown in this natural realm, depending on how it's accessed. And that is one of the keys we want to talk about. You developing your spirit, accessing the realms of the spirit. The spirit has different realms, different levels, and it's not nothing to be played with. It's something definitely to be respected. There are many ways people try to enter spiritual realms. Witches try to enter spiritual realm. Godly people try to enter the spiritual realm. It's just the way it's just the access portals that we choose to go through that makes the difference. And so we're looking at we're looking at let me go ahead and emphasize that a little more. My access portal is Yahweh, Yeshua. That's how I access that spiritual realm, and I only access that spiritual realm that way. There are other portals that maybe witches would use, or maybe some other people depart from that. But the way I access it is through Yahweh, and through seeking Him and only Him. How do I do that? I'm doing that in prayer. I'm doing that in fasting. I'm doing that in meditation. I'm doing that making sure my life aligns up, with principles He has clearly set for me. This is me. Don't necessarily have to be you, but this is the way I do it. I found it's been very, very successful for us to me. Not easy, but it has been successful for me. Developing your will, a will. The stronger the will, the stronger your spirit is developed in that particular area. If you have a weak will, what I mean by weak will, you're too easy to compromise. It's too easy for you to compromise. It's too easy for you to give up. It's too easy for you to quit when things start getting tight, or you think things are taking a long way. You can stay on a certain path, and then you'll go off that path, off into your own destruction or a minimization of what you're trying to accomplish, because you're not following right principles to get you there, and then you open yourself up to other things like that. If you want to create something, it's already in your spirit. You can use your imagination. You can see it, regardless of your education. Regardless of your education, there are people, and I had similar experiences myself. Areas of I have been interested that I don't necessarily have the education for, but I could see something in my mind. I can see the development, and I can bring it clear to my mind. But I don't necessarily have the education of a doctor. I didn't necessarily have the education of an engineer, but I could see things and pull things and just put this together in my spirit. And and if I would have put blueprints to it and maybe brought it to an expertise, we could have easily put that together. Not that I won't do it. You can do it through so many things. Everything of the natural is controlled by the spirit. So it will behoove us to build up our spirit, build up our faith, build up our spiritual energy, and then only then do you expect to receive what your spirit has already saw. But the natural and the body, very, very important. This is our suit while we're on earth. The body has a finite amount of time. Your spirit lives forever, somewhere. Your body, it's subject to decay. It's subject to the time. I look very similar like I was when I was a young boy, maybe about 7, 8 years old, or a teenager, 18, or a young adult at 28. Getting up there a little bit at 38 now, and I looked similar, but my body was different back then. My body was different at 23, and as opposed when I became in my 50s and stuff. And your body is too. You lose some of the elasticity of the skin. You lose some of your physical strength. Your reflexes don't operate as fast as they used to. I used to have this Wolverine type healing ability when I was younger. I didn't worry about sickness, and I didn't worry about diseases because I knew the healing factor in my body could overcome that. I was freakishly strong and fast, and my reflexes out of this chart. And I thought that was just natural way to be. I thought it was always going to be down that. Now that I'm up older, like I'm an elder right now, my body doesn't respond as fast, even though my mind tells it to. My mind says, so I know dang well it takes me longer to recover if I get injured on my bike, or if I have a muscle injury in the gym. So I know that. I know sometimes it takes me longer to heal, and I still haven't gotten used to that. I haven't gotten used to the fact that I have to wear glasses now. The sea long ranges. When there was a time I used to be able to see like an eagle, it's just been very, very humbling. Now I'm forced to rely more so on my mind, my will to get things done. To able to achieve similar things like I did, when I was much younger. You look at professional athletes, and one comes to mind. One comes to mind by the name of Vince Carter. Well, if you guys remember Vince Carter, who used to play with the Raptors and the Nets, among others, I believe I had that right with the Nets, but I know he played with the Toronto Raptors. Well, he was probably one of the most prolific basketball dunkers, of all time. Probably number one. The things that man could do, in his younger years was astonishing. Lo and behold, he gets up close to the 40. It's not that he can't dunk anymore. He's taking more jump shots. He's shooting more for the outside. The same guy, but he had to adjust. Why did he have to adjust? Because he had to adjust for his declining physical powers at 40, as opposed when he was at 20. And this is the thing we have to do. Now, if you're doing physical, but the beautiful thing with physical work, if you are being guided by your spirit first, which never ages, which never gets weak, which never wants to quit and stuff. If you are fueling your spirit, you can still create. You can still produce. You produce with your mind and your heart. You can still put things together and give the plans to someone else who can bring them into impact. That's why so many people still remain great way in their time when their physical powers have left, because now they're producing by their spirit, because that's what they're developing everything. And we have to look at these things. These are very, very, very important. Nothing in the natural happens without being preceded by the spiritual. Nothing. It's not luck. It's not you have to be in the right place and the right time. Do you know your spirit knows where to position you and when to position you? Do you know that? Your spirit has. You know that you have homing systems within your spirit that you don't even know of, that knows exactly what you need to do and when you need to do it. Let me give you an example of it. How many of you guys heard something that said, like, I just feel like, man, I should have called him. I just felt like if something told me that I didn't need to be in business with him. Something told me not to marry him or her. Something told me to go ahead and make this deal. Something told me to stop and see this particular person. What do you think that something is? You think it's just coincidence? And for those of you who have followed that, it sets your life, it propels your life forward. For those who ignore that, it sets your life back. There is no middle ground. You have to look at that. You have to be confident of what you're putting in your spirit, who you are allowing it to impart into your spirit. Are you listening to anyone? I mean, if someone has an evil, wicked spirit, are you let them impart in you? Are you letting them lay hands on you? Are you sexually involved with them and everything? You don't think we could talk about transference of spirits on another show, and I assure you that's a whole nother deeper level right here. But people, when you start joining yourself with wrong people, wrong places, wrong actions, you get the detriment of that place or that person. Subsequently, when you start joining yourself with good people with good spirits and good hearts, and people with great intentions, stuff like, guess what? You get the fruit of that too. When you disconnect from someone who you were supposed to be connected with, or some place you were supposed to be connected with, it can literally turn your life upside down. It can set you on a whole nother course of action that many times you're not going to take, especially if they was ordained to you. There are certain places that you're supposed to be. There are certain people that you're supposed to be around. There are certain things you're supposed to do in your life. And there are certain things that you're supposed to accomplish, and there are certain portals of time that you're supposed to walk through at that certain time. If you delay it, that act of delay is going to actually put you on a whole nother different course, or by God forbid you actually ignore it. Now, the spirit controls the natural. People put too much place in this day and age. They place too much emphasis on the natural. How do I look? What bag do I hear? What bag do I have? What shoes do I have? What car am I driving? What girl or what guy is on my arm? How many likes do I get on social media? That's all the natural, man. That's not going to profit anything. That thing is nothing that fades. That thing is something just fades away. It's a shadow. It's an illusion. It's not going to last. When people are talking about character, morals, being a good person, being a decent person, being a good man, being a good woman, they're talking about spiritual concepts. And those things don't necessarily have to do with looks and what school you came from and what family you came from. There are some people, who are developing their spirit because they know the people who really matter are the people who look at the character. They're the ones who look at your heart. They're the ones, they look for things like faithfulness, loyalty, perseverance, having a dominant will, being able to stick to things, being able to hold things, like being able to defend, being able to protect, not tuck your tail and run. They're looking for character. Now, if they can look like that they have all these things, but you only find these things out in fire when it's tested under fire, and you got to understand that. I mean, my late mother, she had the strongest will of any human being I ever knew. Her will was absolutely indomitable. It was I admired her and I loved her for that. Her will was just, God, I'm thinking about it right now. She just didn't quit. She just didn't quit. I lost her last year to COVID, and she was fighting to the very end up in that. And I was raised by this woman. I'm sitting around there looking at her and looking how she goes through life. She used to say to me, if you don't, to me and her other two sons, and she would say to us, if you don't see me cry, don't you cry. Those words have stuck with me. And she also used to make a saying to me, saying, we didn't come here to stay. Those two statements have really influenced my life. We didn't come here to stay, nor did you come here to stay. But your spirit's going to live somewhere forever. Your spirit's going to live somewhere forever. And what you do on this earth realm determines where your spirit goes. Now, you don't have to believe it. That you don't have to believe it. Except for Fitzgerald, you're pushing faith, you're pushing religion on. I don't believe in religion. I believe in having a relationship with God. I don't believe in religion. Call it what you want. Christianity, Islam, Hinduism. I don't believe in it. I believe in having a relationship directly with the Most High. That's how I operate. I don't subscribe to anybody's religion. So that's my thing. I believe that my job is to produce, through my spirit. My job is to produce through to make other people's lives better, my own life better, by imparting words and being an example that's going to make people want to live to be their better self. That's what I believe. No, that's in my spirit. That's in my entire being. And you have to be about something. You have to learn how to develop your spiritual man. We spoke about a few, but let's go ahead and speak about it again. Okay, prayer. Prayer is huge for developing the spirit. No, there are no unbelievers in foxholes, ladies and gentlemen. No, prayer is huge. In other words, fasting, especially when it's combined with prayer, will produce incredible results to build your spiritual man up. Meditation, being made to meditate and see where you're going, see, molding that vision, creating that vision. Reflection on, how far you came, as opposed to how far you yet to go. What have you done right? The things that have shaped you into the man and woman that you are right now. Building your will up, being a person of character. There are such certain things you say to yourself, and you more so say to others, I don't do. I don't go down ways. I'm not interested in hurting people. I'm not really interested in stabbing people in the back, or talk about people, or demeaning other people, or taking my gratification out on someone's pain. I don't do that. Or having a heart, having a good heart. Now, heart and will can be synonymous. Whether someone's a great athlete, or someone achieves anything, like many of our servicemen and women around the world, they move with incredible courage, and people are like, wow, they have heart. But you start talking, you start listening to them. After that, they say, I'm just looking out for my friend. I wouldn't really be thinking about my country and anything. I mean, my friend was in trouble, and I went to go get him and her, and I didn't care what I had to go through. Those are a lot of your heroes that I've made. They move through their fears, but they have that indomitable will that they simply don't quit. Faith, believing that you can achieve, believing that you can have, believing that you can do, believing that you're just as good as any other man or woman out there. Believing that your name can be great just as any other. Not none of this, not worshiping a man as a god. Not bowing down to no one but God. Believing, that, hey, I respect you as a man and stuff like that, but you're not above me. We breathe the same air. And your title doesn't make you above me. I have a God-given imagination just like you do. I don't necessarily have to, necessarily come for the line of wealth for the family that you have, but but through my imagination, through my heart, and through my spirit, I can create enough wealth that will dwarf yours. You got to believe that. You gotta have that belief. And then after you have that belief, you got to get to work. Oh man, we say that so much on this channel. You got to get to work. Develop your spirit. Be more concerned about your spirit, ladies and gentlemen, than your natural. Be more concerned about that. Forget all this flashing of things. Forget all this grouping mentalities, or this, this OnlyFans crap. Forget that. Work on your spirit. Work on developing yourself from the outside in. The more you develop yourself in your spirit, the more better looking you become in the spirit. It is going to translate in the natural. You're going to appeal to someone. Because mature people, they look at the spirit first. They're not moved by the natural. They look at the spirit. Oh, you can look good on paper. Well, if you're so good looking on paper, why they want to call you in for an interview? They want to listen to you. They want to see your spirit. They want to see are you really about the words you put on the thing in there? Are you really about that life? Because if I get in front of you, I'm going to be able to read you. I did a video called "Your Energy Introduces You." You may want to listen to that. Your energy introduces you. It goes right along with what I'm saying right here. But ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you guys joining in. And if anything, you want to look at life from the inside out, not the outside in. And when you become a little bit older, or you develop it, you definitely maybe get wisdom on that, and you go through a couple of experiences in life, you're going to see it. It's the inside that matters in a person, not necessarily outside. I met many physical beautiful ugly women, many handsome, ugly guys. What made them ugly? Their spirit. Their spirit. It was just foul. It was acidic to me. And I'm not the type of person just trying to be play around you like I want to be there. I'll let you know real quick. If I don't want to deal with you, I just don't deal with you. No, that's because of your spirit. Then I met those rare people who have a beautiful spirit, and then they also have a beautiful physical appearance. So I met some that necessarily didn't have the beautiful physical experience. My God, they was absolutely tens in the spiritual realm. They just made you at ease and made you want to be around those. But people of great character, people who their presence gave you peace and things. Learn to be one of those. Learn to be that type of person. The world is waiting for you to really reveal you. I'm talking about what's inside first. The world is waiting for that person, not this person who you want people to think you are. Not this person, who fake the funk and everything, go out there and go back home and it's miserable at night because they don't have a fraction of the peace that authentic people do. No, not those. The world is waiting for the real you to be uncovered, and you owe that to them. You owe that to them to be you. Someone is watching you. Someone is observing you, whether you know it or not. I get compliments the time to time on the stream. People telling me, "Hey, I enjoy your work. I appreciate your life." Many of you I've never met before, but I tell you what, your words are going in my spirit just like mine are going in yours, and I certainly appreciate that because I need encouragement, just like the type of encouragement I'm trying to give you guys. And I celebrate that. I celebrate that my words and my channel is having an effect upon people in the positive. That's why I'm not interested in getting on there and talk about what celebrity is sleeping with who, and what wife is cheating on with this, and the spouse, or what husband is cheating on his wife, and what is the doom and gloom of the economy, and all the hate groups and all this division. I'm not interested in speaking on those. Maybe because what does it do? It just furthers divide. The world needs an influx of positivity. The world needs an influx of people who are spewing out things that make people's lives better. There's enough hate out there in the world. There's enough bitterness out there in the world, and I'm there and I want to be one who adds to it. I see no use in it. And so we appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Find Ways to Win. And please enjoy your day. Have a great Sabbath, and just continue to be the best version of you.